Welcome to Saving the Investor with certified financial planner, investment advisor, and insurance professional Alfie Townsend, president of Advantage Retirement Group.
Good morning, Southwest Florida. You are listening to Saving the Investor radio show. I am Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida, certified financial planner professional. We are glad to have you. I am live in studio with Pastor John Antonucci, and we have so much to talk about, and we're going to get going right now. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Southwest Florida. We're going to kick off things with a look at the latest market news and update, as always, and then we're going to dive into a real main topic today, 12 signs that you've outgrown your advisor. But before we get started, I've got an exciting offer just for our listeners today. You may have heard of Alfie's latest book, Making Waves in Retirement. It's been flying off the shelves, and we're thrilled to share that due to overwhelming demand, Alfie has decided to release a limited number of free copies again. This book is your roadmap to a rewarding retirement, packed with valuable insights and real-life stories of investors Alfie has helped guide over his 40-year career. It's a perfect companion to help you navigate your financial future with confidence. Don't miss out. Pick up the phone, call the operator, ask for the book, or all you have to do is text the word BOOK, B-O-O-K, to 239-747-1077. Call us at that number, 239-747-1077, or text the word BOOK, B-O-O-K, to that phone number right now and claim your copy of Alfie's new book, Making Waves in Retirement. And Alfie, it's been a volatile, bumpy ride in the markets. But as we are approaching past a month of Donald Trump's presidency, a lot is happening in Washington to really get this country back on track. And I guess everything's factored in, as you say, but the markets are reacting rather volatile.
Yeah, they
which is
are.
normal, right?
They are, and we just have to realize, when you have a lot of spending going on, if you have a lot of adding to the debt, the markets, they don't mind that because more money is going in, but in the long run, if you keep adding to the debt, then what's going to happen is the dollar is going to devalue, and then we're going to be in bad shape, and there won't be a good market there. So we have to go through this toughness to get. He's trying to get a balanced budget, which will be the first time in many, many years. They're cutting expenses, they're cutting jobs, and they're finding waste. So I think in the long run, it's going to come out and it's going to be a home run.
Yeah.
I really do. It's going to be a home run. But right now, you're going to have volatility, but I think we just have to hang tight. We still have, like, the egg shortage, just say, for example. Trump has only been here 30 days. Right? And the egg shortage was when they killed, like, months ago, before he was even elected, millions of birds.
And they're blaming him for this, right?
Yeah. So, now it's his job to try to get, more eggs over here from around the world, and that's going to bring down the prices. But there's just a lot of stuff that he has to. He was really left a mess.
Worse than the first time, I think.
Oh, my goodness, yes. I mean, he's having to go through the court system just to get things where he can govern, and do what he needs to do to cut these expenses, and these expenses are wasteful expenses, a lot of them. So once that's under control, you're going to see a lot of confidence. You're going to also, but the confidence level is 8-month low, and I can see that because you can see why people are, especially if you're a government employee, you are definitely concerned about your job.
Right.
If you're a government employee, you are concerned about your job. You have the tariffs fears, and next week is going to be the week that was a 30-day pause is over. So we'll see what happens there. I think Mexico and Canada is definitely doing some. I think one of the important parts of that pause was, hey, we need border control, and I think they are doing that. So we'll see what happens. I think the tariffs are more of a bargaining tool than actual. if they do put on tariffs, it's going to not. I don't think it's going to be the 25%. So again, we have inflation worries, and back in November, the consumer confidence did hit a 16-month peak of 112. Now it's at 98. So now back in November was the election year. So was the election. So people were feeling real good. But then when you have to fix a problem so bad and so embedded with things that a waste like this, you're gonna have to get through this to get to the other side. But once you get to the other side, then the energy, you're gonna have energy. Not just, I was listening to the energy secretary. He says it's not just drill baby drill, it's build baby build on different ways of different energy. So you're gonna have a lot of exciting things happen. It's just 30 days, though. We have to go back to that.
Yeah, definitely a lot of good things are happening as far as the cuts and putting money back in the taxpayer's pocket. What he's talking about going into Fort Knox, I know our money isn't backed by gold, but let's assume he walks in there and there's no gold in there. I mean, is that going to have any negative effects on the market?
Oh, I would think it would.
Yeah.
I would think it would.
And then where is it? Where did it go?
Yeah. Yeah, I would. That's something I'm not even going to talk about now because we don't. I'm not going to create fear for, people right now. But I'm sure, you can't get rid of all the gold somewhere. So we'll see. That's just something that I'm sure we're not that stupid.
Yeah. Well, these are things that are interesting because nobody's been thinking about that. I wasn't thinking about Fort Knox for a long time. And I mean, he's going into every aspect of our government,
which is important.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, we're seeing change come, which is, if they find $1 trillion, $2 trillion, that's going to turn this country around, isn't it?
And that's what they need to find because it's, and they're going to try to find it without making Medicare cuts. And, there's Medicare waste. That doesn't mean there is cuts. If you can cut out the waste, then that's going to save a lot of money. You got Medicare, Medicaid. So there's, defense. Defense is going to get cut too, but then it's going to be more of a, more efficient. And with Pete Hegseth there, they definitely want to make it a more efficient market, for military. And then you have, not all-time high, but pretty darn high right now. People are going back. They couldn't get anybody in the Army, in the Navy, Marines, any of them, because people didn't want to go. The kids weren't doing, but now they're excited again. So, it's going to take a little bit of time to get through everything, but we're going to be stronger when we come out the other side, and you're going to see a market that's going to be rocking and rolling, because if you have less regulations and they get this tax budget cut passed, this is going to be good for the market. So, the market's not doing all that bad. It's, pretty flat or up a little bit. Down, S&P might be down just a tad bit, but this is it's early on, and I think by the end of the year we'll have a pretty decent run at a positive market.
Yeah, that's why you want to position yourself right now. And Alfie has put together a retirement simulator process that will be a deep dive into your current portfolio to see what's really going on. He actually takes you back 5 years and puts his portfolio side by side with yours and shows you exactly how his would have performed. And basically, he's going to look inside your portfolio, expose all the hidden fees that could be eating up your returns each and every year. He's going to make sure that you're allocated properly, that you're diversified correctly, that you're rebalancing and not taking undue risk for the amount of return that you're getting each and every year. Alfie Townsend is Southwest Florida's premier financial planner professional. He's a CFP, and he has over 40 years experience in this industry. And why not take advantage of his wealth of knowledge and wisdom and expertise that he can bring to the table to get you to and through retirement? So if you're soon to be retired or you're currently retired right now, why don't you meet with Alfie in Fort Myers or Naples? It's very easy to sit down with him. Be one of the first 9 callers. That's all he can handle this week, and with his incredible staff that he has here. Pick up the phone, call the operator, tell them I want to be a part of that retirement simulator process, or simply text the word VISIT, VISIT, to 747-1077. You owe it to yourself to meet with Alfie. He's going to add value to you and your portfolio. Alfie doesn't stock pick, track record invest, or market time. He's going to put together an income plan and a strategy that's going to get you to and through retirement so you don't have to go back to work. I hear about so many people that are going back to work in their 70s and 80s trying to get little jobs to help make ends meet. Visit with Alfie, Fort Myers or Naples. Text the word visit to 239-747-1077. Be one of the first 9 callers now. Don't hesitate. Don't procrastinate. Pick up your smart device and call now. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back right after this break, so don't go away. Welcome back to Saving the Investor with certified financial planner, investor, strategist, Alfie Townsend. You know, if economic uncertainties are putting your financial decisions on hold, you really need to get a hold of Alfie's free toolkit that will help transform your worries of retirement into confidence. You know, Alfie's toolkit will give you a wide range of materials, such as will your money last as long as you do? Are you paying too much in taxes in retirement? The Social Security Decisions Guide, when is the most opportune time to maximize your benefits that you paid in for all your life? Will a recession rob your retirement? To get Alfie's toolkit, simply call the operator and ask for it or text the word KIT to 239-747-1077. It's time for a worry-free retirement. Get Alfie's toolkit today by calling the operator and asking for the toolkit or text the word KIT, K-I-T, to 239-747-1077. And Alfie, one of the things I love about what President Trump is doing is making people like Zelensky pay us back for all the money that we gave him through the mineral type thing where they have precious metals and things that we could use over here. Isn't that a great thing so that we're not just handing out things to people? Yeah. And, you know, it's good to be benevolent in some areas, but like he said, we're paying $300 billion, and the people in Europe right next to them who need to be most concerned are paying $100 billion.
And they have guarantee signage paper.
Yeah. Europe
does to get paid back. We didn't.
Yeah.
Now we're going to have that, and you're right. It's a big difference, and when you don't feel, you know, the American people don't feel so bad now. If they we gave $300 billion for you to protect your country, but we want to get paid back.
Sure.
So, and they're going to get paid back, and Trump said it could be, this mineral deal could be in the trillions.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, so that's a good investment. That's a real good investment. So they're going to have to give and take. We'll see what happens. I think the war is coming closer to an end than it's been in a long time, and they're talking about it. So this is good. This is good stuff. You have a president that's a leader, and you can see it. He leads the world. We have a good friend. You know him, Marion, our German friend, and he is ecstatic.
And he's got a conservative in there.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. And he's ecstatic about what Trump is doing, not just here in the United States, but how it's affecting Germany. He said Germany used to be the safest country you could go to. Now it's not anymore because of all the refugees that are in there, and they account for a lot of the benefits that are going out is getting paid by the refugees, and the work. You know how Germany always had just a stringent work ethic, and now that is losing. So I think a lot of changes are coming around the corner, not just here in the States, but around the world. You can see the elections like you talked about, and this is a good thing, but it doesn't happen overnight. It takes some time, but I think overall you're looking at a stronger world, a stronger U.S., and things will start to show. Again, when you have Doge in there with with these layoffs, government layoffs, you're gonna have it's gonna raise the unemployment pretty big. People are going to be applying for unemployment insurance in the next few weeks, months, and that's going to raise. But that's part of the some will retire, some will get new jobs. But if you're in a job, John, that we're paying for, the government is paying for, that they're not even going to work, they haven't been at work, and you don't even know if they're working or not, that's the waste that they're talking about. And if we can get that under, not saying every government employee is doing that, but there's a lot of them that could be working a lot harder, and there's a lot that aren't working. So this is going to be something that will, it could definitely bring unemployment up to from in the 3.5 to 4.5, 5. But then on the other hand, they'll start getting jobs and it will come back down. But then we're saving so much money that it's going to really help the deficit, and that's what it's all about, is balancing that deficit.
Yeah, that's awesome. And companies out there are reporting good earnings, and you don't like to focus on one stock all the time, but there is a name out there that it's on the lips of everyone that I talk to, and you're probably hearing the same thing from your clients and prospective clients. NVIDIA, why is that such a key component, in the NASDAQ, and why are everyone looking to them, during this time? I guess it's tied to the AI, which is really taking off, but we can't just have one company because...
No, there's a lot that's... I was reading an article about NVIDIA, and there's other companies that are coming out with AI, and down the road, they predict other companies will surpass the advance that they have right now on everybody. They will get past, but it's going to be years away. But then they came out with another chip that is supposed to be, unbelievably faster, and so NVIDIA is going to be around for many, many years. It's going to be one of those. It's an innovator, and it's going to do nothing but get bigger and bigger. And it does. It's like when Elon Musk came out with Tesla. That was the only EV car company, but then GM came out, Mercedes came out, they all came out, Hyundai came out. So someone has to be the leader before the other ones start to come, and that's what NVIDIA was the leader in AI, and they will still be the leader for many years. But there's other companies that are coming out that will they'll probably get merged or they'll take off too. So this is an exciting time for this, because AI is here to stay.
Yeah, it's just going to get bigger and bigger.
It's going to get bigger and bigger, and it's going to get better and better and more easier to use and stuff like that. So, but NVIDIA, they came out there. It surged 4%, then it sank about 5% afterwards, because of, I believe, competition that's out there. But they own the market. They do own the market, but it's something that will be around for many years and do nothing but get bigger and bigger.
And they're making money, right? So their earnings are very good.
Yep, their earnings are good. And, they started out video games, gamers. Yeah. They were for gamers, but the chip was so fast. No one had a chip anywhere near as fast as theirs. So they went from gamer to AI, and it worked great in there. But now you even need faster ones. It's crazy how...
No one's ever satisfied. By the time you buy a computer today, it's already obsolete, isn't it?
Yeah. But it did beat the expectations, so that it generated $11 billion in revenue in the for the fiscal fourth quarter. So that's $11 billion. So it's a money-making company. So that's the thing. Back in the 90s, John, and when tech stocks were just overvalued by so much. They weren't making money, but they were just flying by the seat, and they had just so much. People say they have so much earning potential, but they didn't have anything to prove it, and that's why the tech stock just fell. But NVIDIA kicking out $11 billion in revenue in a quarter, that's serious money. Yeah. That puts them up there with the top companies, and so it's a proven track record, and it's going to be around for many, many years, and they're going to do nothing. They're already, the president of NVIDIA, the CEO, they think they're big thinkers, and he's going to definitely, keep this company going.
Yeah, I mean, it added 6,400 employees, last year, which is not nothing to sneeze at. But
That's total 36,000 employees. That's a big company. 36,000. Salesforce is a big company. They got over 40,000, I believe, maybe even more than that. So it's these tech companies are producing now, and they're generating revenue, and they're generating jobs, and they're generating wealth. And wealth, we talked about the market is the best wealth creation out there. And if you don't have a good portfolio, or if your portfolio is not performing, John will let you know how we can check it out with our retirement simulator. And then we can, do really a checkup from the neck up and see if we can put you in a better spot.
Yeah, that's why you want to deal with Southwest Florida's premier certified financial planner professional with over 40 years experience in this industry. Alfie is Southwest Florida's financial planner, and you want to sit down with him in Fort Myers or Naples. All you have to do is be one of the first 9 callers right now and text the word VISIT, VISIT, to 239-747-1077. If you don't text, just call the operator, tell them I want to visit with Alfie in Fort Myers or Naples, whichever is more convenient for you. He'll take a deep dive into your portfolio, see what's going on. He's going to expose all the hidden fees that could be eating up your returns that you don't know about. Make sure you're allocated properly, diversified correctly, that you're not taking undue risk for the amount of return that you're getting, that you're rebalancing so that your portfolio mix is exactly what is within your line of what you put together as an income plan and a strategy. And if you don't have an income plan, what are you waiting for? You need to get a plan, especially right now as we get ready to move into the next quarter of 2025. Pick up the phone, call the operator, or text the word VISIT, VISIT, to 239-747-1077. You also can visit Alfie on the web by going to savingtheinvestor.com. Again, savingtheinvestor.com. You'll find a wealth of information about Alfie, his company, and all the services that he offers through the Advantage Retirement Group. We want you to stay tuned. We're going to come back and talk about the 12 signs that you've outgrown your current financial advisor. Please don't go away.
Good morning, Southwest Florida. You are listening to Saving the Investor radio show. I am Alfie Townsend, known as Southwest Florida's certified financial planner professional, here with Pastor John Antonucci, and we have a great show today. And, we talk about your attorneys. We talk about the really advisors you have. And the question is, have you outgrown your financial advisor? So we're going to go through slew of questions, and you're going to be listening to them and say, you know what, maybe I have outgrown my advisor, or maybe I'm in good shape. But you're going to know, you're going to want to stay tuned. So welcome to the show.
Yeah, good morning. And, you want to pick up Alfie's brand new book that's in high demand. It's called Making Waves in Retirement. And before we get started answering those topics of 12 signs that you've outgrown your advisor, why don't you pick up the phone and ask the operator for Alfie's brand new book, or simply text the word book, B-O-O-K, to 239-747-1077. Alfie's book is your guide to a fulfilling retirement. You don't want to miss out on the insights, including many, many stories of investors that he has helped save over his 40-year career as a CFP. And basically, those stories are going to help you navigate through the fog of investing. Pick up the phone, call the operator, or text the word book to 239-747-1077. And Alfie, the first sign that someone has outgrown their advisor is they still offer a one-size-fits-all approach. Why is that not a good thing for most people that invest?
Well, the thing about it is this: as your net worth grows, so your goal is obviously to grow your money, to grow your nest egg, and as it grows, John, the complexity of the plan also grows too, because then now you have to look at different things. And if your advisor hasn't really evolved beyond just cookie cutter strategy, then that's a red flag for you right there. So as your net worth is growing, you need to have communication with your advisor about, okay, what am I going to do next? I have this money that I didn't have not that long ago, years ago. Now what? And if they're not really talking about strategies, about taxes and stuff, that might be a red flag that you might have outgrown your advisor.
Yeah, that's very, very important. And that's why, basically if you are in it, haven't had any changes, you want to sit down with Alfie. The second thing that really people don't think about is that taxes can become a ticking time bomb or a burden. You say if they're not addressing that on a regular basis, that is a sign, isn't it?
It's a big sign because as your money grows, as your accounts are growing, so is your capital gain, so is your estate taxes, so is quite a few other things you have. Legacy. Are you thinking about that? And if your advisor isn't really proactively, we always talked about being proactive, and this would be proactive in minimizing your tax strategies. You want to minimize your taxes, and there's things to do that, like charitable giving. You have in Florida has specific benefits and that you can take advantage of, and trust. There's different trust. We have attorney that we work with, and he's been on this show, and his name is Jonas Weatherby, and we talk about some of the things. One of the trusts that is not looked at all is a community property trust, and this is one that if you have a house with you and your spouse, and one of you die, then typically what happens is you will get a stepped up basis on only half the property. So if you paid, let's just say for argument's sake, you paid $500,000 for your home, and now it's worth $2 million. So what would happen is one spouse dies, they only get half of that $1 million because it's worth $2 million now as a stepped up basis, but you still have your half if you die, or if you sell it, you're going to only utilize half of that stepped up basis, where a special trust can make it where you get the full stepped up basis. And so this is something that you really need to be aware of, because this could save you thousands and thousands of dollars.
Pay that tax on that million? Is that what you're
saying?
Yes. Wow.
Yeah, opposed to having the whole thing step up, and then when you sell it, it's free and clear.
That's probably something people haven't heard, because they go to their advisor, they're just looking at their accounts, right?
That's right. So that's when you know if you outgrown your advisor, if you're not hearing things like this.
Yeah, if you think you've outgrown your advisor and you haven't had that tip, and one of your spouse dies, Alfie's saying that you might have a tax liability you haven't even been thinking about. Give Alfie a call, 239-747-1077. Make an appointment in Fort Myers or Naples, or text the word visit to that number, 239-747-1077. You also say that if they're not having advanced legacy or estate planning solutions, and you just said it, you have an estate attorney that works right with you here. If they're not talking about estate planning, then that is a telltale sign that they've outgrown their advisor, right?
Yeah, and this this segment is the 12, really 12 steps on, when you hear about 12 steps.
12 signposts, really, showing them that. So it should be a red flag that goes off that says, wow.
Yeah, this is 12 things that you should know about if you outgrown your advisor. And you might have outgrown your lawyer, too, because we work hand in hand.
Probably most people listening know right off of these three questions that they've outgrown their advisor, right?
Yeah, the first three right then and there. But this one is, you need to discuss, high net worth strategies and services that we offer. And when you talk about estate and legacy planning, is no longer just for having a will, about having a will. So you might say, well, no, we have a will. Well, you need more than a will. And we have a trust. You might need more than a trust, because, like I said, the last thing we just talked about is a different trust than if you had a trust, it would not have done what we talked about, getting the full stepped up basis upon the death of the first spouse. So this is something that's very, very important. It's about building really a comprehensive plan that protects your wealth for the next generation. And so when you're talking about that, not just really the next generation, it could be on some of the things protecting your spouse. But then when both of you are no longer here, then it protects your family, it protects your kids and your grandchildren, and And that's the way we have to look at it. We can't just look at what you're doing right now. We have to look at down the road. So, again, if they're not really doing that, then you might have outgrown your advisor again, or your attorney in this case.
Yeah, very wise information there. So we're talking about the fact that if you're in a place where there's one-size-fits-all approach, or they're not addressing your rising tax burden, or they're not talking about advanced legacy or estate planning, you've outgrown your advisor, you want to sit down with Alfie in Fort Myers or Naples, 239-747-1077. The fourth thing that you say is a sign that they've outgrown their advisor, and probably they're not even hearing this from their advisor. They overlook the sale or transfer of highly appreciated assets, and that's something that you deal with really on the first appointment, don't you?
Absolutely. And what we want to do, especially if you're selling a business, real estate, if you have concentrated stock, people have concentrated stock. They feel like they can't do anything with that. What we do with concentrated stock, so if you have an Apple, for example, and you don't want to sell it because you have so much gains. We have a client that had almost $6 million in just Apple stock, and they didn't want to sell it because of the fact that it had so much in gains. It had $4 million of gains. So what we did is we said, would you like to have additional income from it? So we put what we did is we put something together where we put some options on there where they could get growth up to about 15% of the Apple stock, but in the meantime, they're getting about 6 or 7% additional income from that Apple stock. And if they didn't have to sell it, if it went beyond that 15%, there's ways to get less interest, and we can still keep the stock, so we wouldn't have to sell it. Now, if Apple went down, you're still getting your nice dividend check. It's like a dividend check, from these options that you're not currently getting. So this created a few $100,000 a year extra income that they weren't getting.
And I guess
Instead
their
of
own
just
advisor didn't tell them that, did they?
Oh, no. That's why they came over with us again. But there's strategies like that. But there's also 1031 strategies, and especially if you're selling a business. If you're selling a business, some of the things you want to do is get an appraisal on that business before you sell it, and then there's some very big tax savings on the estate when you do sell it. So if you want to know more about that, give us a call. John will give you the number. Give us a call, and then we can, again, this would be working with our attorney on some of these things that we're doing. Some of the things we would be doing on the financial side, the appraisal, and the other things, to reduce the value of the business would be based on the attorneys. But that's why, as certified financial planner professional, our job is to be the quarterback and put the team together for our clients.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And why not get a second pair of eyes, not just any eyes, but someone who is Southwest Florida's premier financial planner professional with 40 years, 40, experience as a certified financial planner. Why not get a second pair of eyes? You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Sit down with Alfie in Fort Myers or Naples. Call the operator. Be one of the first 9 callers right now, and either call the operator or text the word VISIT, V-I-S-I-T, to 239-747-1077. Let them do a deep dive into your current portfolio. Let them show you some strategies that are outside of the box that maybe your previous advisor didn't even talk about, or not even thinking about, or not even trained or skilled in. Alfie is skilled in all these areas to get you the maximum amount of return on your portfolio. His goal is to get you to and through retirement so that you don't have to go back to work, and you can take advantage, even if you're a high net worth client, of plans and strategies that he has that are so out of the box that you never heard of before. Pick up the phone, call the operator, be one of the first 9 callers right now, or text the word VISIT, V-I-S-I-T, to 239-747-1077. That's 239-747-1077. Stay tuned. We'll be right back right after this break. Don't go away. Welcome back to Saving the Investor with Certified Financial Planner Professional. Today we're talking about signs that you have outgrown your advisor, and a sign points to a direction where you need to go. And if you're hearing any one of these signs we're talking about today that are directing you away from your advisor to come in and have a second pair of eyes on that, not just any eyes, but certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend with 40 years experience. Give him a call, 239-747-1077. One of the signs that they've outgrown their advisor, Alfie, you say, is they don't coordinate with your other professionals. What do you mean by that, and why would you bring other people into the mix?
Look, as again, certified financial planner professional, CFP is one of the hardest designations to have in the financial industry. And that's what I am, and that's what we utilize here at the Advantage Retirement Group, because what that does, it allows us to be the quarterback. I always say we're like the quarterback of the team, because I can look at something and I know if we need a CPA, I know if we need a tax attorney, I know if we need an estate attorney. So these are things that we look at. And you have to coordinate, John, with high net worth clients, because you can't do everything yourself. We'll do the financial side. Yes, we have that down pat. We have the portfolios. We have money managers that we deal with that our clients wouldn't be able to have access to. They'd have to have millions and millions of dollars to even talk to these people, and we do it because we have that relationship with them. But also our job is to make sure that we have the right, if it's a realtor that they need, if it's a CPA or an attorney, we have the connection for them, that where they don't have to go outside and search. It's like my concierge doctor. Okay, when I first got my concierge doctor back, it was 13 years ago, and I'm thinking, why? My mom said, you should have a concierge doctor, Alfie. And right when I did it, Dr. Price, I had to have neck surgery. Right?
Yeah.
A chiropractor messed my neck up in Maryland, and I had to have neck surgery. And if I had to go search for a doctor, and we were, first just moved back in the area, I wouldn't have known where to. And he set me up with the best neurosurgeon there was, in the area. He's the doc's doc. So that's why you have a concierge doctor, where you can call, spend time with them, and they're not going to rush you, and they're going to give you the best treatment, and they're also going to, give you the connections. And that's the same thing with here. We have to coordinate with the attorneys, the CPAs, and make sure you're getting the best service for the needs at the time. So that's pretty much the same as the concierge.
Yeah, excellent. Well, so if your advisor doesn't coordinate with other professionals, that's a sign to you that you've outgrown your advisor. Give Alfie a call, 239-747-1077. Family situations and dynamics are very complex. A spouse dies, spouse gets remarried, all of a sudden they're moving into property. You say that if they're not helping you navigate complex family dynamics, you get involved in families because you care. That is a sign. A lot of people don't think about that, but there's things that happen when people get divorced, remarried, pass away. You're involved in all that, aren't you?
You have to, multi-generational wealth transfers, blended families. There's a lot of blended families, especially here in Florida. And you have to make sure that, that will create more fighting than you can ever imagine if this isn't done right. You have to make sure that something happens to, the breadwinner, that the spouse is taken care of, second marriage, but his kids are taken care of too. His kids are going to be taken care of. She might have the right to stay at her house, their house, for as long as she lives, so she might have a life estate deed. But we have to make sure all that is under control. There was an incident I had in Maryland at pretty young in my training, I would say, and I went to go see this client. She was in hospice at their house. So the husband called me and said, the wife's not doing good. So I drove, an hour and a half, and I, went to visit her, and they had one kid. It was a daughter that was like 30-something years old, and so I go in the house and I spend time, an hour or so, and I talk to the family and this and that. They thank me for coming, and then it wasn't like then she passed, and then it wasn't like 2 months later, I get a beneficiary change on the account, and I said, well, they didn't really need to do that because the daughter is the only beneficiary now, and it was his new girlfriend.
Wow.
And I'm like, and he's 70 something years old, and this was in 2 months later, and I told him, I said, listen, you don't have to, but your daughter was your beneficiary, and that's what your wife wanted, and that's what you wanted, and now you're letting this person be your beneficiary. How long have you known her? And he started getting mad at me on the phone. He goes, just do what I said. I said, no. I said, I'm not going to do what you say. I said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to be your advisor anymore. If you do that, I'm not your advisor anymore. And he went and did it on his own. I wouldn't do it for him.
Wow.
So, so if you had something that was set up prior to that, that wouldn't have happened. If you had a trust set up, then stuff like that wouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
But the daughter, I was just thinking that I met the daughter. I know the daughter. Why would they do something like that?
She didn't know anything about it, probably, right?
No.
Yeah.
But that's but as a financial advisor, you're going to be put in situations, and you have to we won't work with everybody. There's people that I just feel like would not be a good fit for our firm. I won't take them as a client because I know in the long run it's not going to be good for them or us. So that's what's so when you find your financial advisor, you want to make sure that person aligns with your with your thoughts and your goals and your values. Really, you want to make sure that happens, because if they don't, then you need to find another financial advisor.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about today. If any of these signs that we discussed today on this broadcast is pointing you in a direction away from your current advisor, why not sit down with Southwest Florida's premier financial planner, certified financial planner professional, 40 years experience in this industry, Alfie Townsend. You could sit down with him in Fort Myers or Naples. He'll do a deep dive into your current portfolio to see what's really going on. He's going to expose all the hidden fees that could be eating up your returns, make sure you're allocated properly, diversified correctly, not taking undue risk. He's going to show you through a program that he has strategically. It's not, what's your risk factor 1 to 10. It's going to show you exactly what your risk tolerance is, and that's going to make sure that you're in the best portfolio, best situation for your risk tolerance. Listen, you owe it to yourself to get a second opinion. Let him take a look at what you have, and you have everything to gain and absolutely nothing to lose. Sit down with him in Fort Myers or Naples. All you have to do is be one of the first 9 callers right now. Pick up the phone. Don't hesitate. Call the operator. Say, I want to meet with Alfie in Fort Myers. I want to meet with Alfie in Naples. Or text the word VISIT, V-I-S-I-T, to 239-747 1077. Again, that's 239-747-1077. You also can visit Alfie on the web by going to savingtheinvestor.com. Again, his web address is savingtheinvestor.com, where you'll find a wealth of information about Alfie, his company, and all the services that he offers through the Advantage Retirement Group.
Thanks, John. This is a good segment, John, because this is, I think people will listen to this and say, you know what, my advisor is doing all this, and then they know they have the right advisor. But I would say most of them are probably the other way, saying, I need to give a call because my advisor really isn't doing this, and it's not that they don't like you or anything. It's just they don't know about it most likely. So change is very important. If you want to stay ahead, you have to have open mind, and that's what I always say. You have to have, my mentor told me if if you're not changing in your business is dying, and you have to really change with the times. You have to change with technology. You have to really look ahead and see what you can do to stay ahead for your client. So I hope you like this segment, and it's opened up your eyes. And I don't know if you ever seen our TV show. It's called Saving the Investor. It's on NBC2, and it's every Sunday at 11 o'clock after Meet the Press. And it's a half-hour show. It's packed with information, and we get a lot of compliments on that. We get a lot of people. Our good friend Chris Nealon is our producer of the show, and Mary does a great job co-producing it with them. And then right here on 92.5 with Jake the Millennial as our producer, makes us sound good, and I can't wait for next week's show. So I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Until then, be blessed.